Winter is finally freaking over, and I know what you've been doing. You've been sitting there looking at the weather app, just waiting for the temperature to get above 60 degrees. Now listen, I know your first instinct is going to be, you see 60 plus degrees, run out to the garage, grab the key, put it in the bike, and go for that glorious first ride of the season. But if you were to just listen to those instincts and you just go for that first ride and you skip what I'm going to talk about today, you could end up jeopardizing your entire riding season. Today, I've got 5 things you guys need to do to your motorcycle before you ride it after your winter break. Let's get straight into it so I can get you guys riding quickly. Oh, and before we go, you have to listen to what I'm telling you. Whatever you do not skip number 3. Okay, let's go. Guys, tip 1 is something that every motorcyclist out there has had happen to them before, and the thing that sucks about it the most is it's like the freaking Predator. It is invisible, you can't see it until the very last second and it strikes. It is your battery. If you don't check your battery, there is no faster way to literally ruin the first ride you go on of the year than when you hit your kill switch, you hit the crank button, and you don't hear nothing. Consider yourself attacked.
So if you guys want to check your battery level, you need to grab a multimeter. You can get these things off Amazon. They are super cheap and just kind of a handy little tool to have around the house. For a healthy 12-volt battery, you should be reading around 12.6 volts or higher when the bike is off and at rest. Anything under 12.4, and you want to put this thing on a trickle charger before you go for a ride. Now, if you're reading under 12 volts, then you're probably in trouble. If it won't hold a charge after a full charging cycle, just replace the entire battery. I mean, a new battery runs $50 to $150 depending on your bike, and that's way cheaper than getting stranded 30 miles from home on your first ride of the season. Now, while you're in here checking your battery, you might as well check your terminals too. What you guys are looking for are white or greenish like corrosion buildup on the contacts. Here's a little tip to get that stuff off. Just a little bit of baking soda and water, and a toothbrush will clean it right off.
All right, so guys, now that your battery's figured out and you can actually crank your motorcycle up, now we can worry about thing 2, and that is your oil and filter. Listen, I see you typing already, Chase, I'm not at my motorcycle interval for the next oil change. Shut your mouth and stop typing that comment. Guys, the beginning of the season is the perfect time to do an oil change, and why would you not want your bike running at optimal performance? Here's why you guys need to be doing this now. Also, it's too cold outside to ride yet anyway. Take advantage.
So here's how everybody thinks about oil. It's only a certain amount of miles that you get to, and then you need to change the oil, but it doesn't just wear down from those miles. Oil will actually break down from heat cycles and sitting over time. See, the thing that happens is moisture can actually get into your oil over the winter, which is not something you want circulating around through your engine. Fresh oil, fresh filter, and you're starting the season completely clean. Also, while you've got the drain plug out, take a look at what's actually coming out of your motorcycle. If it's really dark and gritty or has a milky tint to it, that's a sign moisture got in, and you definitely don't want to skip this. Dark and gritty, just like what's coming out of my MT10. Also, an issue I see a lot of people doing when they're changing their own oil is not checking their oil level or their dipstick after they fill the oil back in. Don't just pour in the spec amount and assume it's going to be right. You need to pour in the spec amount, watching your oil level or your dipstick, and then once you get it into your motorcycle, you then need to crank the bike up and let it run for a second so that the oil can get distributed through the filter, and then you can check it again. That's going to be your actual oil level. If you guys notice when I did it on my MT10, I first filled it up to the correct level on the oil glass, then I cranked the bike up just to let the oil kind of circulate through the engine, and then when I shut the bike off and checked the oil glass again, you can see that there's no oil in there now. That's because that oil is now distributed correctly, and now I can correctly fill up my oil glass to the right level.
And guys, here we are at the third one, and I have to be honest, I am an incredibly terrible hypocrite because I am very bad about this. But hey, nobody said I can't make videos to help you guys and remind myself of what I should be doing. I'm sorry, MT10, for all the neglect that I have created for you. Regardless, this third one is the one I talked about in the intro. It cannot be skipped, and that is chain maintenance. Guys, if you do not maintain your chain appropriately before wintertime, and it's been sitting there for weeks or God forbid months, and then you just go ride on this thing, it can have catastrophic consequences. Here's what you gotta look out for.
I don't think a lot of you guys realize that a dry, stiff chain doesn't just wear out faster, it can actually cause catastrophic damage, because if these things are not well kept, they can actually snap. And when a chain snaps at speed, it doesn't just stop the motorcycle, it can whip back and wrap around the engine case, punch a hole through covers, and turn what would have been a $200 chain replacement into an over $2,000 engine repair. That's your riding season literally gone. So here's what I like doing. At the very beginning of the year, I just grab a chain cleaner set. I like this one from Motul, but you can really use anything. I like this kit because it has really nice spray bottles. I like the brand, and it comes with gloves and everything you need. I just get one of these at the beginning of the year or throughout the year whenever I need them. Then you're gonna first off spray that chain cleaner on, and look at the difference by just spraying the cleaner on my MT10 chain. It is insane how just spraying cleaner can do that much change. Then you're gonna go through with that brush and brush off all of that nasty grime. There is going to be a lot of nasty stuff coming off your chain. Once you got the nasty stuff scrubbed off, just grab a rag, wipe it all down, and that kind of helps get the rest of the material off. And then once you have the chain clean, you gotta let it dry, and then you can apply a fresh coat of chain lube. Get it in the inner links while you're slowly rotating the wheel so that it gets in all of those little rollers. Remember, you're not necessarily lubricating the metal part of the chain. What you're wanting is for that lube to actually get into the chain where all of those little rubber bearings are in between each chain link. So make sure you're spraying the lube in different angles and different directions on the chain to help make sure it gets into the core of the chain. That's where it actually does its work. While you're down here, you might as well check your chain slack as well. Most bikes want somewhere between 20 and 30 millimeters of play at the tightest point. Check your owner's manual for your specific bike, or look it up on Google if you guys aren't familiar with how much your specific bike wants. And make sure to check out your sprockets while you're at it. If the teeth look hooked or shark finned, you're replacing the chain and sprockets. Better now than having to do it mid-ride.
Guys, isn't it sad that if you literally did every single thing I recommended in this video, but you skipped number 4, it would all be pointless. Tip number 4 is your tires. See guys, motorcycles are insane. They have crazy power. There's a lot of stuff. There are millions of explosions happening. There's all this technology, and all of that gets translated to a 1x1 square patch in the front and in the rear. All of that is controlled by these puppies right here, and here's how we can check them and make sure they're all right.
Let me walk you through it. Here's the thing, guys. Tires lose pressure just from sitting there. Even brand new tires in a climate controlled garage can drop a few PSI over the winter from the cold contracting their air inside. Always check your pressure cold, meaning before the bike has actually moved at all. For the MT10, I'm running around 36 PSI up front and 42 in the rear, but always go off your owner's manual, or a lot of motorcycles will actually have a sticker on the swing arm for your bike specific tire setup. While you're down there, do a full walk around inspection of both tires. Look for cracking or dry rot in the sidewalls. Tires can look fine on the tread, but be compromised on the side from UV exposure and just age. Check your tread depth as well. Most tires have wear indicators built into the grooves. On my bike right now, I'm running Conti Road Attack 4s, and when I got down and inspected them closely, the tread is actually still in a good shape. Those little wear indicator bumps inside the grooves are still well below the surface, so I've got a little life left in them, but I've already got a pair of Conti Sport Attack 4s sitting on the shelf ready to go when these are done. The point is, know where you're standing before the season starts so you're not guessing mid-ride. If you're approaching those wear indicators, now's the time. Book an appointment, not after you're already committed for a long ride. And then one more thing. Look for any flat spots from sitting in the same position all winter. Usually they work themselves out after a few miles in a warm-up, but if you feel like a rhythmic thump at a low speed early on, that's what it is. Alternatively, over the wintertime, you could just slowly move your motorcycle into different positions so the tire's not always sitting on the same place. Or if you have like some sort of stands inside the garage, those are fantastic if you know you're not going to ride the bike for a while.
Ah, look at you over there, you silly little motorcyclist. You thought this whole video is gonna be about your motorcycle. It mostly is, except for tip number 5, and that's taking care of your freaking helmet. You guys are gonna ride in this thing all summer long, getting sweaty and nasty, having an amazing time, and then in October or November, you think you're just gonna put this thing in a bag and then let it sit there until freaking March when you're gonna go ride again? Bro, that's disgusting. Let me ask you this. When's the last time you went and did a workout and then you didn't take a shower? Matter of fact, don't answer that question. Here's how you can take care of your freaking helmet.
So guys, what we're gonna do is pull the liner and the cheek pads out of the helmet. I'm pretty sure most modern helmets these days that you guys are buying all have removable liners on the inside. So we're gonna get all of that stuff pulled out of the helmet. Yes, it is going to be a pain in the ass if you have a cardo set up and all that kind of stuff inside your helmet, but trust me, this is worth doing at least once a year. Now, you could do warm water and something really light detergent like a baby shampoo, but if you don't want to do that route, you could go the route of grabbing this Stockton stuff over on Revzilla. I've got the enzymatic helmet interior cleaner, and I also grabbed the deep gloss to clean the outside of the helmet because bugs are all over this thing. So to clean the pads with this enzymatic helmet interior stuff, you just need to take the pads out and then soak them with this material, and then we're gonna let it kind of like soak in for a while. And after it soaks in, you're gonna get warm water and you're going to just rinse them in warm water and then let them dry. And after you do all of that, you're gonna pat them dry with a towel, let them sit for a little while and dry out. I was a little impatient. I put them directly back into my helmet after I let them dry for only about 5 minutes, but what I did to actually dry them out was put my helmet on top of a like air blower, and I just let that run at low speed for a little while, and it dries the pads out super fast. And now you've got an absolutely fresh helmet that, one, is not going to mess your face up with all the bacteria and stuff, but it's also going to smell fresh, new. It's so nice wearing a helmet for the first time after you do like an interior clean. Do not skip this stuff. Also, I hope I don't have to remind you guys this, but motorcycle helmets are only good for around 5 years. You guys can check your specific helmet, but if you've had a helmet for coming up on 5 years, you really need to look into maybe just getting a brand new helmet for this riding season.
And my friends, with that, those are the 5 things you need to do before you go ride after the winter break. If you guys want links to anything I talked about, got them in the description down below so you can easily find the stuff. And after you do those 5 things, now you can get on the bike and go for a damn ride. I'll see you guys in the next video.